question, but I'm going to paint a picture, and you were talking about the problem of external investment in Gaza. There actually is external investment, as we were talking about, from Qatar, also from Iran in Gaza, that is funding Hamas. It doesn't seem like there is a lack of external investment. Additionally, Iran is funding plenty of wars around the region. Seems like they have a little money. Okay, but then someone did mention, I think it was Professor Roy mentioned that some of that money is being diverted. That does go into Gaza into military uses. That means rockets being shot into Israel. That means children in Sderot who are growing up with the same trauma that you're describing that children in Gaza have. It's trauma on both sides. What is, yes, so my question is, what is Israel supposed to do here? And why would a country whose children are suffering the same trauma ease a quote-unquote siege that essentially is just trying to limit the amount of money that flows in?
Okay.
Okay. What was the first question? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. People leave Gaza through Egypt, and this is a way that the only way that people can leave. They do not leave through primarily through Israeli-controlled exit. They leave through Rafah and through Egypt. And if people can afford it, they can buy their way out. And this is done with the knowledge of the Israeli authorities, certainly. But it's only people who can afford it. And when I said that nobody can leave, or when Layla said nobody can leave, nobody can leave. The majority, the overwhelming majority of people in Gaza have never left Gaza because of Israeli restrictions. And the small, tiny percentage that manage to get out are buying their way out through the Rafah crossing. The second question was, I'll let Layla deal with the women and children. And the money, oh yes, this gentleman here. The money's coming in. First of all, there's no doubt that any child who suffers is, any situation in which a child, be it Israeli or Palestinian, or any child, is a horrible thing. If we want to end this situation, if we want to create peace in this region, and I will tell you that there are organizations and groups of people in Sderot and other areas in the bordering areas of Gaza inside Israel that have been lobbying the Israeli government to open up and to ease the restrictions because they understand that the situation in Gaza has obviously a direct impact on them. And so fundamentally, if we want to return some semblance of normalcy and peace to this region, we have to allow Palestinians in Gaza to live the kind of life that we all claim for ourselves, that Israelis claim for themselves. This is not rocket science. It's simple, basic human rights and simple, basic decency. I can't emphasize enough to you how devastated conditions are inside Gaza. Nobody in this room would want to live under those circumstances. Nobody in this room would want their children to live under those circumstances. If you want to change the situation, you have to allow people to live an ordinary, normal life. In fact, I'm Jewish. I have family in Israel. I don't think my family, I don't think most Israelis have ever truly had a normal existence inside Israel because of the occupation. There is no freedom for the occupier, ultimately. And I want, and I think many Israelis want, many Palestinians want, and have wanted for a long time, this situation to just end so that both peoples can live an ordinary, normal life in their respective states.